David Ornstein provides fascinating Arsenal transfer update amid Julian Alvarez rumors. Arsenal can still do something special at the end of this window. Arsenal are still plugging away in the transfer market, looking for an opportunity to sign an attacker, but there are no guarantees at this point in the window. The Gunners have endured a somewhat frustrating summer in terms of their pursuit of a superstar forward. Morgan Rogers was snatched from them by an astronomical offer from Chelsea. Paris Saint-Germain have seemingly priced everyone out of signing Bradley Barcola, and Vinicius Jr. signed a new contract at Real Madrid. To top this off, Julian Alvarez remains obsessed with the idea of signing for Barcelona, despite Atletico Madrid desperately offering the Argentine to Arsenal. It looks increasingly unlikely that the Gunners will get what they want, although transfer guru David Ornstein has provided an interesting update, describing Arsenal's circumstances as a situation to watch in the days ahead. David Ornstein provides Arsenal transfer update ahead of the final week of the window. Christos Tzolis arrived earlier this summer as Leandro Trossard's replacement, as the Belgian left the Gunners for Besiktas. The expectation following this like-for-like swap was that Arsenal would then add a world-class winger in place of Gabriel Martinelli, who is on the verge of signing for Saudi Pro League club Al Hilal. However, speaking on the Athletic FC podcast on Tuesday, Ornstein revealed that this might not ultimately be the case. He did, however, suggest that because Arsenal were prepared to fork out enormous sums to bring Vinicius to the Emirates, there is likely money to spend, and that the situation is still worthy of keeping an eye on. You could say, Christos Tzolis replaced Leandro Trossard. So who's going to replace Gabriel Martinelli? He said, "You suspect Arsenal remain active in the market, whether it's Julian Alvarez or somebody else, but we don't have any firm information on whether they will do something." The fact they were prepared to fund Vinicius Jr., which would have been extortionate, suggests in the absence of that, there is some finance to do something, and that's why they could do an Alvarez, but if it's not right, they're not going to. That's a situation to watch in these days ahead. With no guarantee of how it will finish, Ornstein's words certainly offer encouragement to Arsenal fans. Finances aren't holding the Gunners back. It's merely a question of whether a suitable player becomes available for the right price, which is exactly how the Gunners ought to be operating, rather than signing a player for the sake of it. The journalist added that the Alvarez deal and Martinelli's future are not interlinked, and that the former Manchester City man is still opposed to a move to the Emirates. Gabriel Martinelli's future does not directly impact Arsenal's interest in Julian Alvarez, he explained. The Alvarez interest has been long-term and is ongoing, but it's incredibly complex. Atletico would do a deal with Arsenal at around €150 million. Alvarez is not keen on a return to the Premier League. He only wants Barcelona. We've heard talk of him softening his stance, but we need concrete indications that he would be willing to join Arsenal, or it appears he'll stay at Atletico. Arsenal's campaign is well underway after beating Coventry City in the Premier League's curtain raiser on Friday night, and the transfer window is subsequently entering its final stages. The Gunners strolled to victory in their opening match of the season, with goals from Kai Havertz, Bukayosaka, and Martinodegaard seeing off Frank Lampard's men at the Emirates. Despite the convincing nature of this performance, there is still a feeling around the North London club that one more major attacking reinforcement is needed. While Christos Tzolis has performed excellently since his arrival from Club Brugge, another left-sided attacker, or a new centre-forward, could yet take Mikel Arteta's attack to another level. If anything is going to happen in this regard, it's likely to come to fruition within the next 7 days. With that said, here's a look at everything that might happen at Arsenal over the course of this next week. The Julian Alvarez saga has dragged on for several months now, but it's likely to finally be brought to an end this week. For much of the summer, the noise has been that Alvarez is dreaming of a move to Barcelona. However, negotiations on this front were delayed until after he returned from his post-World Cup holidays, and the speculation has since accelerated. Atletico Madrid have remained steadfast that they won't sell to Barcelona, and this saga hit boiling point over the weekend when Alvarez was included in Diego Simeone's squad for their game against Villarreal. Booed when his name was announced before the game at the Wanda Metropolitano, and whistled throughout his cameo towards the end. The situation looks untenable for the Argentine in Madrid. It seems clear that his agitation isn't going to earn him a move to the new camp, and that he'll either have to accept an uncomfortable environment at Atleti or agree on a move to Arsenal. If the Gunners are going to convince him to swap the Spanish capital for North London, it'll need to be this week. The sheer size of the prospective deal, in financial terms, means Arsenal would probably need a few days to mull it over and set the wheels in motion. After this week, there are just 2 days left before the window closes, so Alvarez will need to get on board within the next 7 days.